Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, species around the multiverse, we are back. It's Geek Syndicate episode 309, and what are we doing? What we always do, bringing the sass, back to geekdom. I am Monts, and TEENTITANS. They're the real heroes taking down a big menace. Teen Titans flow, Teen Titans know. Whenever they're together, baby, Teen Titans go. Beast Boy can change straight up into an animal. Yes, any animal. Boom. Oh, he's a kitten now. Oh, check out this kitty meow.
Star, the fire, the live, the wide, the alien princess in my alien tie, the energy blast, the supersonic speed. Is she down with the tides? Oh, yes, indeed.
Booyah, I got my cannon blast, the sideboard. Whoop, baby, Mr. High Tech Master. Whoa, Mr. Meatball Disaster. Whoa, Mr. Boom Boom Blaster.
Boom with the smoke, bongs and better rounds. Bold staff hitting steady, doing my thing. Robin the leader, Robin's in charge.
Show him your baby hands, baby.
Nah, Robin's a large.
Raven is here to drop it on you even harder. There's a darker than me. I'm as dark as MB. Check it, Azeroth, Metreon, Xanthos, teleporting magical powers. We adios.
Yeah, bitches, we back. With an absolutely awful edition of Titans Go.
Listen, I'm going to come straight out and say I took my 7-year-old to see Teen Titans Go to the movies. I might even have said this on the show, I don't know. And I come out of that and I went, that is one of my favourite superhero movies in the last 5 years. That's in my top 5.
And you know what? You told me this, and I watched it. I sat down to watch it, arms crossed, pouting, going, "Yeah, like this is going to be good." I think I rang you straight afterwards.
You did. You rang me before it was finished. Yeah, I'm a believer.
Man, yeah, I done drunk the Kool-Aid.
You know what? That film's dark.
Yeah, that film is dark, man.
There's some moments in that I was like, what did they just do that? And without spoilers, it's the bit with Aquaman as a baby.
Oh!
Dark.
Although, to be fair, the Batman one was pretty dark.
That was what I mean.
Not to mention when they're singing the inspirational song, which is sung by Michael Bolton. And then
I'm listening to this song because it's literally called an 80s inspirational song about life. And it sounds like one of them inspirational songs about life from the 80s that Michael Bolton used to sing. It turns out it's actually sung by Michael Bolton.
I know.
I was like, what? And I swear it was Kenny G playing the sax on that, but it wasn't. it was. I checked it out. It was someone else, but it couldn't be Kenny G.
It's got to be Kenny, man. Nothing says 80s like Kenny, man.
Right. So I'm like, I don't know, this movie. So apparently there's a sequel coming, and I'm all over that. Yeah. And I was like, and a lot of people like watch the cartoon and go, yeah, this isn't really for me. And I get that. I totally agree. I got into it just because my kids were loving it so much, and it kind of things grow on you if you watch them enough. But I didn't rate it at all. But the movie is a whole nother ball game. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, it's funny actually because same thing. I tried to watch the cartoon after watching the film because I really enjoyed the film. Didn't quite get into it, and it didn't get into it really. It didn't really do it for me in the same way. But the film, yeah. Anyhow, peeps, we're back.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
And welcome to the show. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. It's really sad because someone on I'm going to go to YouTube. Someone on our YouTube channel complimented us on our banter, which has been awful for the last 5 minutes.
To be fair, it's just like getting back into the group because I've been away. I've spent like a quarter of my year in Ireland. About a quarter of my year in Ireland, doing theatre projects at the moment. So we've been really sporadic because I've just been all over the place.
And likewise, I've been touring the country with my one-man show, Rum Tum Tucker. But yeah, I've still found time to kind of like drop in the occasional podcast.
I can't do with your Rum Tum Tucker nonsense.
You know what? I reckon if I actually put on a one-man show called Rum Tum Tucker, that shit would sell out.
I'll be honest. I would go. I would buy a ticket. I wouldn't even.
Just so you can sit in the front row and go, "What's this shit, isn't it?" Yeah. You can nudge the person next to you and go, well, I paid money for this, man. Do
you know what? There's something, I'm going to talk about it later when we talk about the week that was. It's a TV show, and I've been having a chat with a friend, Steve Ariane, who does Grouchy Old Geeks podcast on the Geek Syndicate network. And we talk about a TV show. We'll talk about it later. But we've been talking about it like privately, so we haven't spoiled it for anyone else on our WhatsApp group. And he's going through it, and he's just complaining because I keep telling him, "Go on, no, go on, just give it another episode. It'll kick in, And I know that for Steve, it's never gonna kick in.
It's never gonna kick in.
I'm just enjoying him being grumpy about.
You realise he's now listening to this, don't you?
I know, but I admit it. He goes, "Oh, it's not even proper sci-fi. I had hopes, but it's really bad writing." And I was like, I know. And after all this time going, well, you know what, man? I went, you know what? I'll be honest. I'm just enjoying the image of you sitting there like a curmudgeonly old man, just tutting every time something annoys you. And then at some point you're going to rant about it or grumpy or geek. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I'm encouraging you.
It's a setup like Hustle style.
Exactly. Play the long game, bro.
So moving on, a couple of shout outs. Sean Pryor of Action Labs fame.
What's up, Sean?
Has said, tell Dave that he says hello, and Barry, which is me, make sure that Thunderbird 1 is properly filled up. I plan on taking it on a spin this week. Not on my watch, he ain't, mate. Do you know?
Barry he can't be awake the whole time, Sean.
Sean actually has been. I've been talking to him recently, and he's been bigging up the Captain Scarlet CG series, which is not the puppet series, the actual CG, because they kind of relaunched it, didn't they, years ago? Because you can get that now on Amazon Prime.
I've seen it because I'm still watching Thunderbirds, and actually, I'm sitting there watching it with my baby whenever she gets annoying. Whenever she's crying or a bit upset.
Whenever she gets annoying.
Freudian slip, ever there was one. I just sit down and we put on Thunderbirds and watch it together. She loves it for some reason, and I'm still like, you know what? They're still bringing attention.
Yeah, I watched the first season. This is the new Thunderbirds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the first season and I liked it, and for some reason I haven't gone back to it, and I think it is that thing that you keep saying. Thanks social media, my attention span is shot to shit.
I'm telling you. Do you know how many TV shows I've started?
Exactly. That's what I mean. Every time I go on Netflix, Amazon Prime, I've got a load of shows which are like, telling me how much time I've got remaining on that episode. And
then you get in the end of this. I fucking hate Netflix. I'll tell you why. Because on the TV, it's not the same on the app on the iPad, but on the TV, you can't stop the trailers playing.
What, on the TV?
You can't stop them playing. You're just scrolling something. If you stop for more than 3 seconds, trailer starts playing. It's annoying. Oh, yeah. It's annoying, especially like, I'm chatting to my wife, what we're going to watch, whatever, trying to talk. Suddenly another trailer comes on. And the problem is sometimes it's for something really interesting. And you're like, I can't be adding something else to my list, man.
No, I know. I can't. I know. But the reason I sort of mentioned Sean is got a new comic coming out. If Cash and Carrie.
Yeah.
That's what he's done. They're like, it's like all ages sort of detective kind of Scooby-Doo-ish type thing. I read the first volume and loved it, and he's got volume 2. I think volume 2 is actually already out, so I've got that I've got that on my iPad to read. If it's anything like volume 1, do you remember Fillmore back in the day?
Remember who?
Fillmore, the cartoon.
Who? Fillmore?
You've never heard? No, seriously. No,
I feel like I'm mishearing you.
Fillmore. Filmore.
I really don't.
Right, so Fillmore back in the day was like, it was an American cartoon, but it was like they were like safety monitors, which in our language would have probably been school prefects. I guess.
Yeah.
But there was 2 of them. You had Fillmore, and you had, I think her name was Ingrid Third, and basically the way they did it was like a 70s cop show. Like Streets of San Francisco.
Yeah.
They have the narrator. It was done like that, but it was all done. But they were like 12-year-olds set in a school.
I just looked it up. Cornelius C. Fillmore and Ingrid Third.
Yeah. Mate, after this episode is done, trust me, if you never watch any other show, just go and watch one episode of Fillmore.
2002.
Yeah. So, I know what you've just said, right? But the fact that you've not seen Fillmore, you've got to watch one episode because that's all you need.
Try YouTube.
Try YouTube.
I was going to say, am I going to go illegal?
Try YouTube. Or if YouTube don't work, have a word with Bucky.
All right, then. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so Cash and Carrie is in that sort of similar vibe. So they've got volume 2 of that coming out, so I wanted to give them a big hail up. Run Along See, we're rambling now because we've got all these shoutouts. But run along as our Marvel Phase 4 What Grabs You. Well, go back and listen to the episode that I did with Dan Marshall, where we went through the entire Marvel Phase 4. But if you got to pick one thing from Marvel Phase 4, Dave, what would it be?
I don't even know what's in it. I had one look at it and my brain just went, got overload.
So you got nothing?
I looked at it and I couldn't process it.
Wow.
My brain just went, it's just, I don't know. All right, let's have a look. Black Widow, Eternal, Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse.
Whoa, no. Come on.
What?
How long have I known you? You need to tell me you drop a title like Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings of Power and you just skate over that like it's nothing.
Did you hear the next one?
No, fair play.
Doctor to be Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I mean, you did dovetail it with Doctor Strange. You know what I mean?
I think part of it is like, I have no idea who Shang-Chi is.
Really?
No, who's Shang-Chi?
I was telling someone. Well, I see now. I've put myself to shame now because my only exposure to Shang-Chi was back in the day. My brother had one Shang-Chi comic.
See, and I remember I was a DC boy back in the day. I knew nothing.
However, the reason it grabbed me because the one comic it had, it was basically Shang-Chi back to back with Luke Cage, and I remember as a kid going, I don't know what's going on, but I gotta have a slice of this pie.
So I'll tell you what, just Hawkeye, Loki, WandaVision, Eternals, Black Widow, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Thor, Love and Thunder. They're all things to me. I go, yeah, I'll watch that, but none of them make me jump out. The two that make me jump out, and it is literally because of the titles, is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Just
because those are titles. Although Black Widow has got an old friend of the show on it.
Has it?
Yeah, it's the leading man.
Oh, wow.
There's a guy we interviewed called OT way back. He was in the Doctor Who adventure set in the library.
Oh, yes, yeah.
He was in the spacesuit and became a skeleton or something like that. And we had him on the show talking about Doctor Who. And he's gone on and he's done Handmaid's Tale, among other things.
Wow.
And he's going to be in Black Widow, opposite Scarlett Johansson.
Should have kept that contact, couldn't you?
I've still got his number, but I kind of feel like after all this time, just to ring him back the blue mark.
Hey! You probably don't remember me.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I'm going with those two because
yeah, same here, man.
The title.
I'm looking forward to the Black Widow film. I think it's long overdue, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially after what she was dropping in Winter Soldier, that's when they should have dropped a Black Widow was straight after Winter Soldier, as far as I was concerned.
And I know everyone said it, but as a name, WandaVision is probably the worst name I can imagine.
Yeah. Not great.
Yeah, let's leave that there. But I'm going with the crazy titles.
Yeah. Darren Cook asks, Stranger Things 3 peaked. Stretch the 80 stick to the limit. I find these ideas have a short shelf life. In short, yes.
I see. One of the things when I heard it got a season 3, I was like, well, I don't know how much more they can push it beyond that because it was a story. As far as I was concerned, season 1 was a story, and then season 2 came along and they made it work. And to me, it was almost like Alien and Aliens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, season 3, you're starting to dilute the idea now. And I guess it's still got play because people love it that much. And people I know who have seen it have gone, they loved it. And I haven't got to it yet. But I'm like, how far can you push that idea?
I mean, here's my quick sort of 30 seconds take on it. And again, we had to talk about it before, but I thought it took me 3 or 4 episodes to get into it. And then I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I was ironing a basket full of shirts. And what someone pointed out to me was like, you didn't do that when the first season came out, did you? I was like, no, I sat on my sofa and I was glued to the TV until it was done.
That's
they sort
interesting.
of said, well, that should say something to you. And I was like, yeah, good point. And then I said, well, but those shirts did need ironing, to be fair. But my thing is, it is kind of like, I feel the first season was really good. I enjoyed the second season as well, but that first season just came like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And then every season subsequent just gets a little bit staler because you're same air. That's probably a bad analogy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel that the third season really doubled down on, look, it's the 80s, kids. It really doubled down it. Whereas I feel like the first season was like,
you were just in the 80s.
Exactly. It's a show which just happens to be set in the 80s. Whereas in the first season, it kind of went out its way to show you things to kind of remind you that you're in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and they just look old now. So it looks a bit odd, to be honest. That's just me. But I still enjoyed it, and I would still recommend people watch it compared to a lot of other stuff that's on at the moment. So, right. I want to do 2 pieces of news. So let's roll to the news, Monts.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the news.
Sorry, I was having a much needed glass of red wine. So if I went, would you know what that was? No. I was doing the theme from the Batman animated series, but yeah, that's what I did, but better.
Yeah, okay.
So I know you don't really watch the CW shows anymore. To be fair, I don't watch most of them anymore either. But they're doing another cross.
I know I've got to find a way to watch to work it in so I can watch all the crossovers.
Right. So they're doing
Crisis.
Yeah. You know that already.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know some of the people they got signed up for this?
No.
Right. So first up, they've got Brandon Routh is going to be playing.
I did see that. I did see that actually.
But,
that's amazing.
Yeah. But I think it's like he's going to be like an older Superman. I don't know. Some people are saying he's going to be kind of like a kind of Kingdom Come style Superman.
That'd be nice.
All right. So, have you heard about Kevin Conroy is going to be in it?
What? Or
right.
Actual Kevin Conroy?
Kevin Conroy is going to be playing Batman.
Actual Kevin Conroy, like physically?
Yeah.
Oh, that's... See... Right, so you could talk about all the Batmans that have been. Yeah, but Kevin Conroy is Batman. And for those of you who don't watch animated shows, you're missing the real Batman.
You are missing the real Batman.
The fact they got Kevin Conroy, dude, I'm all over that. I'm in.
So, yeah, basically, he's an older version of Bruce Wayne, so they're kind of going a kind of Batman Beyond route, I'm guessing. But you know what? I have no idea what the show is going to be like or anything like that. I don't care.
They've got
there.
Tom Cavanaugh in it.
Yeah.
Who was Harrison Wells in Flash.
Yeah. To be fair, he's been in every season of the Flash anyway.
Okay,
so,
yeah, fair enough.
It's not
he's as Pariah. How are they working out? Okay.
I don't know who Pariah is. So
Pariah he's the one who turned up in the comics, original comics of Crisis. He's the one that turned up, shit's happening.
Okay. That is only like rolling it.
Pretty much. He goes, I am a pariah. I turn up wherever death will follow. Shit's happening.
Get involved. Take a leaflet.
Literally every shot of him is him just going, no, shit's happening. And just looking proper distressed. I'm gonna have to dig it out and read it again, man. That was one of the greatest ever crossovers.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest ever events.
Have you got Amazon Prime?
Yes. Oh, Cress Williams is in.
I think you can get Crisis on Infinite Earths for free if you've got Amazon Prime.
I've got it on my shelf.
Okay. Well, you could do that. For people who aren't Dave / being an arse about it, you could get it on Amazon Prime.
All right. So if you're done with this, I'm gonna, because you've just brought me to a place.
Okay. Go. Yeah, no, yes. Yeah, we've got less time now because we've been answering questions. No offense, Pete.
It goes. So I recently watched Titans, which was on Netflix. And first of all, I saw the trailer. I hate it. Look at this. This isn't my Titans. And you know what? It's not my Titans at all. However, if I can set that aside, it was a damn good show.
Robin don't play.
And DC are also bringing us Doom Patrol, and I was like, yeah, that's bound to come to Netflix. I ain't seen it yet, and people I know have been going, Doom Patrol was solid.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It was a little bit out there. It's a little bit wacky. It's what I suggested that DC do as a movie instead of the Justice League, because I mean, like, Marvel have got all the major superheroes just nailed down. Just go going from it sideways.
Different way. Yeah.
So, but they didn't listen to me, which is no surprise. So when I heard Doom Patrol was being made, I was like, yeah, because that's one of my favorite teams from way back. So I thought, you know what? I don't really go illegal much anymore because there's so much to watch. You don't have to go illegal for.
By illegal, you mean having a word with Bucky?
Having a word with Bucky. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, I'm patiently waiting. Ain't coming to Netflix. Right, it's got to come sometime. Then I'll do a little digging around. Turns out it's been bought by HBO, which means it's never coming to Netflix.
Oh, for the love of...
So if you want to watch it now, and it's the same as Swamp Thing, even though Swamp Thing's been cancelled, I've heard it's really good watching.
Yeah, I've heard.
For those of you who are old school, the Blue Devil's in it, and apparently he's cool. So what that means now is that through Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to the HBO channel if you're in Europe. That's great, except that they haven't decided to stream it yet, so it's not up on the HBO channel on Amazon Prime anyway. But if I do want to subscribe to the HBO channel, that's over $15 a month.
How much?
$15 a month.
15. So what's that? What's that like?
That's like 3 times Netflix.
No, I'm trying to work it out in pounds.
Well,
to be fair, the way the pound is at the moment, probably £15 then.
No, literally, it's probably like £13.
You know what? It's just getting ridiculous now.
Also, it's like you've got this DC streaming stuff. In this day and age, why are you making it just available to one country? It's like you're trying. It's like you're trying to get people back to. It's not the 90s no more. Do you know what I mean? We don't have to be torrenting like crazy anymore, except when you push us back there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Before you come off that run, I got to back up a little bit because, they're doing that show Pennyworth.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I cussed that show when it first got announced because I was like...
Especially after watching Teen Titans go to the movies.
Yeah, exactly,
like,
yeah.
Coming next summer, Alfred.
Yeah, and I'm like, why are you doing a show? It's like, come on. If you're going to do a show of Alfred, at least get Sean Pertwee to play Alfred. Do you know what I mean? Because he's hardcore. It's like, no, it's going to be like it's going to be when he's younger. Oh, really? And then I watched the trailer for it. I was like, you know what? This don't look half bad, I
know, it don't.
Right. And then I was like, I might have to give this a look, see. And then they tell me it's on some channel I've never heard of, some streaming thing called Epic. I hadn't even heard of it.
Who?
Epic's with an X. And it's like it's an extra streaming because I went to look at it and it's like you can watch the first 3 episodes for free. And I was thinking, or I could just not watch any because I'm not paying another extra amount of money.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. I mean, just the fact that I have Amazon Prime, I have Netflix at the moment. You factor in if you go and get Disney Plus, I don't know how much that costs. If DC ever gets around to making it available to everyone, you're going to get that. And then if you want to get something like Pennyworth, that's another 10 boys you got to pay for that. You could end up on top of the fact that most people have in this country Virgin Media or Sky. You could end up almost paying £100 just for your streaming. I don't think that's an overestimation if you really check it in what you want to get. That's nonsense because although Cloak and Dagger's on Amazon now, isn't it? But there's some stuff on another channel where Cloak and Dagger is, isn't it? Hulu is another one.
Hulu, which isn't available to us.
Oh, it's madness because all that happens is we'd actually got to a place where less people were hitting torrent sites.
Yeah.
Because people were like, I can go to Netflix or I can go. You know what I mean? But now all you're doing is pushing people back because I get the mindset of streaming because, it's working for Netflix and stuff. Yeah, but it won't work when you've got 10 different locations to get the same stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you also,
first of all, you've got to work out where each one is. And that's a job in and of itself.
And then whether or not you can even get access to it because you're in the UK.
It's annoying. They're in a different place now. Why keep acting like we're back in that old place? Ah, well.
Well, that pretty much covers news then.
Yeah. Yeah, and ranting.
Yeah. Although, really quickly though, did you know? I'm only telling you this because I've got no interest in watching this, and it's not because of the reasons that people might think that I don't like the idea. That Amazon are eyeing a Event Horizon TV show.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm going to be as far away from that event as possible, man.
They better do it justice, because I love that. I'm all over that. And I said to Siobhan, do you want to watch that with me? She was like, no.
The only way, right, they'll know if they've done that justice if they invite me to a screening. If I sit through the screening, they'll go, nah, we need to go back to the drawing board because it's not worked. If they get 4 minutes in, I'm out. We got to hit everyone, shall we?
Yeah.
That film, no. Even the screenshot with the news item was wrong.
No, I didn't even see that. I was
just wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm all for that. That was a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not convinced.
Not convinced, man. Right, week that was.
Oh, I didn't even see the trailer. Is there a trailer?
No.
So where we at? Week that was.
Week that was.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the week that was. I've got a book for you.
Oh, a book. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a short story. It's called The Tea Master and the Detective.
I'm already in.
By Aliette de Bodard, and it's set in the universe of.
That sounds familiar. The name.
Yeah, it should do. She's been on our radar for a number of things. I can't remember why, but she has.
Okay.
It's set in the universe of Zuya, and I was like, "What is that?" And I looked at it. There's a whole heap of stories and short stories and stuff written by this woman set in this universe, and it's set in the far future, and a galactic empire, which is inspired by Vietnamese culture. So cool. It's a universe where like Asian culture was dominant.
Okay, I thought that when you said the Tea Master, I did wonder if there was a.
Well, the Tea Master. So you have these beings called mind ships. So they're kind of spaceships that are sentient. They've been made that way. They're sentient. And when people hire them to do stuff, they have to create a tea for them to drink. And the tea is basically to help them survive the rigors of the sort of faster than light travel or whatever, because they go into this place to travel and the mind can't deal with it. So they make these tea, and each person is different. So they have to interview you and look at all what your body's telling them and make this tea that works for you when you go traveling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So keep in mind, so this mind ship's got an office in whatever place, and she's become a detective because she was a military ship, but she's kind of been a bit damaged, a bit mentally and physically damaged by whatever happened, by a traumatic injury while she was in military service.
Okay. So
that's the Tea Master. Yeah. And then one day this detective woman comes to hire her to do something. And let me tell you, this detective, she's rude. She's a bit of a drug addict. She's brilliant. Doesn't play well with other people. Is this ringing any bells for you?
Yeah, Sherlock.
There you go. Basically, it's her version of Sherlock and Watson.
Oh, okay.
But Watson's a traumatized spaceship.
Wow, that's a concept, man.
I'm telling you.
Plays out though.
It does. And I came out of that going, I'd read more of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone called Amal El Mohtar from the New York Times said in their review, this isn't a tidy transposition of Holmes and Watson into far future space. For all that the elements of homage shine through, Long Chow is an abrasive, self-medicating consulted detective. The Shadow's child, that's the name of the mind ship, is a fully realized character in her own right, and the dislike she feels for Long Chow is sustained and justified. Instead, it's a window into a beautifully developed world that widens the meaning of space opera, one that centers on Chinese and Vietnamese cultures and customs instead of Western military conventions. Yeah.
So is it so the short story?
It's a novella.
Oh, okay, cool. Tea Master Detective. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was one of the stories in an anthology or something like that.
No. This stands alone.
Cool.
But the titles of these books are great, man. On a Red Station Drifting, The Citadel of Weeping Pearls. Do you know what I mean?
Dab.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
That's right up there with like Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange.
Isn't it? The House of Binding Thorns.
No.
Yeah.
See, that's the one I think that's the one I've heard of.
The House of Sundering Flames.
Is any of those that you've just said, are they all novellas?
No, some of them are books.
Yeah,
some of them are short.
In my head, I've got one of them on my
is a
shelf.
series of novellas and short stories. So yeah.
Okay.
So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I recommend that.
Cool. Right.
Go.
Comics. Yeah, I think next time we record, I want to talk some more indie stuff. But weirdly, well, it's not weirdly at all. It's been this first one I want to talk about is because I recently discovered that because I've got Amazon Prime, I can get some comics for free on Amazon Prime. You
mentioned that to me.
Yeah. Had no idea, and I literally just stumbled across it. I generally don't understand why Comixology and Amazon don't make a bigger deal about it, because I had no idea. And there's loads of stuff on there. Tends to be like volume 1, that's it. But you know what? That's an entire volume of a comic. It's like 6-7 issues you're getting. And I read the Captain Marvel. Is it Higher, Faster, Further from Kelly? Kelly McConaughey.
Yeah.
Which was really good. But the one that I've finished reading today was I Am Gotham.
Okay.
Which is by Tom King.
Oh.
Written by Tom King, art by David Finch.
I do like Tom King.
Yeah, Michael Janning and Ivan Reis. And I'd only just come off the back. I'm kind of doing this as a bit of a double hit because I literally just finished reading Mr. Miracle.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and I was kind of
on the... that hit you?
Well, I'll come back to Mr. Miracle. But so I read Batman I'm Gotham Volume 1 by Tom King. And I have to say, it's been a while since I kind of read a Batman. And I kind of went into it that I'm a sort of tired. It's another Batman comic, but it's free. I'll give it a go. Art's nice, By the end of it, I was like, this is how you do Batman. Right. This is how you do, because it really got to that kind of, because one of the things I kind of always found with the Christian Bale films that I really liked about it was they got kind of the emotional content, certainly in the first film, but they didn't nail the world's greatest detective part of it.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, I feel they really doubled down on the emotional and the character-driven stuff, but at the same time, you really got a sense that he's the world's greatest detective as well. And I loved it, absolutely loved it, to the point of kind of it is self-contained, but also obviously it kind of carries on in Volume 2. And I think I'm going to pick up Volume 2.
I Am Suicide.
Yeah, because I need to see how it plays out. And it's still by Tom King, so I'm all over that. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. So I would say, if you're a Batman fan, it's worth checking out. If you're a Tom King fan, check it out. But as well, if you've kind of been away from Batman and want to kind of give him another go, I think it's a good place to kind of start. I think the last time I read a Batman that I really enjoyed was like Court of Owls.
Yeah.
And it's in that wheelhouse. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But after this, I'm on a real hunt for anything that Tom King writes. I want to check out.
I loved after Mr. Miracle. I was like, yeah, me and Tom King, we can be buddies.
So, Mr. Miracle, right? So, Tom King, did he do Division?
Yes, he did Division as well.
Right. So I read Division, which is a bit of a head fuck, and then
and he also did Grayson. I don't know if you ever read that, but I loved that.
I've heard really good things about Grayson, so I want to go and check that out.
So good, man.
But I read Mr. Miracle, and it.
Oh, sorry. The other thing he did was the Batman Elmer Fudd special.
Did it? Oh, was that him?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have. Damn. That guy, my boy's on a roll, man.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so Mr. Miracle, it's one of the few comics. No, it's not actually. It's not true. There's loads of comics I'd read again, but it's one of the few comics that I feel I need to read again.
Absolutely.
To understand it better.
Have you got any understanding of Mr. Miracle from before that?
None.
Right.
None whatsoever. It was my first.
I've
heard the name mentioned, but like you said earlier, about being I was always a Marvel guy back in the day. So a lot of the characters, I knew about the New Gods and stuff and New Genesis, but my only exposure to that was through that Cosmic Odyssey graphic novel. But so I had no idea, none. So I went into it blind, and it was brilliant. It was really good. But I think it was because I didn't know what to expect. It really threw me. And I think one of the comments I think I saw about it was kind of, they said, this is an adult superhero book. I don't necessarily like the term when they put adult in front of things. I don't really.
Usually it's an excuse to swear and do sex.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Like, what do you mean it's an adolescent?
Yeah.
But I'm not against those things. I'm just saying sometimes it's like, look, we're adults. We can swear and put sexy stuff. And I'm like,
yeah.
But that wasn't this. This was all to do with the concepts and the amount of thinking you had to do.
And there's a lot of thinking. And I know it's weird, isn't it? Because what I realize is my mindset when I sit down to read a superhero comic is, this is something I'm going to breeze through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I sit down to read an indie comic, most indie comics, I sit down with a kind of like cup of tea, some biscuits, like, right, let's just dive into this. This is going to be full on, you know. When I sit down to read, and it's not knocking superhero comics, I'm not knocking Cape and Tights, I love those comics. But when I sit down to read those, I'm just expecting for it to kind of wash over me and just see some people get punched and some heroic stuff to happen and things getting put on the line. So I went in with that mindset, and going in with that mindset was completely wrong. because within about like 5 pages, I was like, what the hell have I let myself in for?
Yeah. No, it puts your mind through the ringer, man.
Yeah.
And especially if you've got a little bit of knowledge about Scott Free, who's Mr. Miracle Man, who's Mr. Miracle, the emotional impact of that is harder. So back in the day, I used to love Justice League International, which was like a pretty comedic take on the Justice League, and it wasn't, it still had its stakes, but there was a lot of laughter with it, and Mr. Miracle was a big part of that. So the last time I really engaged with Mr. Miracle, it was full of laughs.
Yeah.
And coming into this, I'm like, wow, my brain.
Yeah. Where's the lot? I mean, to be fair, there was humor in it.
Yeah.
There was humor in it, but it was
very dark humor in places.
It was very dark, very dry humor, and it is definitely a comic to read a second time. I certainly believe I'll get more out of it second time around. But that isn't because it's not well written. Do you get what I mean? Because sometimes you read something or you watch something and go, that wasn't very good. And some go, no, you need to watch it again. Second time is always better. But I just think that because it wasn't what I was expecting, I wasn't focusing on it in the same way as I would. I don't know if I was reading a Warren Ellis, maybe. I don't know, or just an indie comic, I guess is what I'm saying. But no, it was fantastic.
Well, weirdly enough, I've been reading something I've read these things before, but never really been excited about them. It's the Superman comics.
Yeah, see, I've now got that Invisible. Is it
Invisible Mafia?
Yeah,
so
I haven't read it.
Brian Michael Bendis came over from Marvel to DC, and I'm like, I'm interested to see what he could do. And I kind of expect him to get all these street level characters because that's where he excels. So I started reading Invisible Mafia, which is his first collection of action comics of Superman. And I'll be honest, that part of the reason I did it was because this was whatever his name, Bendis. This is Bendis bringing the question, my question, Vic Sage, who died in the old universe. This is him bringing him back. And I thought, if anyone can write the question the way I want to see it written, it's going to be Bendis. So I'm kind of got hold of it because he's going to turn up in it. But so I'm just looking at it, and actually someone described it brilliantly. He's put a new twist on Superman by figuring out what a crime organization would need to do to operate under Superman's radar. So that's nice. And it's like when you see the lengths they go to, it's like, and anyone in the empire, in the criminal empire, like crosses the lines that they've put into place to protect themselves, just like, gone. You knew better than that. That's one of the words we don't say. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it's quite, I was enjoying it. Which I didn't expect to be honest.
Okay.
But also the other thing it did is there's something called Nemesis going on, which is a DC wide thing. So it's kind of feeding into that.
Right.
And Nemesis is quite big because it's like basically taken down the entire intelligence network of the DC universe, and
Okay.
and everyone's like, who, why, how, why are we losing? And that's setting the scene for that.
Right.
So yeah, so there's more to it than just Superman. It's tying into a much bigger thing. So if you want to keep away from that much bigger thing, then don't even start.
Okay. I'll give a quick head up. I'll talk about it in another episode in sort of more detail. I know you put me onto this, so I decided to check it out, which is Black Hammer from Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Mainly because I'd recently finished all of the BPR. I didn't even realize BPRD is now finished as a series.
Yeah, I heard you say that, and I need to finish it up now.
And I think because I'd heard that there was an end to it, I'm like, you know what, and I knew I wasn't that far from the end. I'm like, I got to get on it. So I finished BPRD, and I think that's a conversation for another day when you've read it.
Yeah.
I was hankering for something. I needed the universe to dig into. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of stuff in the Hellboy universe that I've not read, and that is my plan. But I kind of wanted to just take a little bit of a siesta from that and move out of that. So I remember you said about Black Hammer, and again, I think, did I buy Volume 1? Oh no, I did buy Volume 1. Yeah. So this is a case of basically it's these kind of old, I suppose for the best way, they'd be almost like golden age superheroes, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
That absolutely. Are kind of, there's a massive battle that happens, and they end up basically trapped in this town. And to say any more about it would kind of spoil it, I think. And I read Volume 1, which is kind of, it kind of centers on their lives within the town now, but also each issue focuses in on one character and has a bit of an origin to that character as well back in the day.
Yeah.
And what's quite clever about it is that it's really different, but the characters are very recognizable. If you know your superheroes, you kind of know who they're based on.
Yeah.
And kind of got
still different.
Yeah, but still different. You got a Captain America / Batman character and blah blah. And what I quite like when I read the first volume is that this is by Jeff Lemire, with art by Dean Ormston, and they kind of basically say who they're based on anyway, which I quite like. They kind of own it. There's no. This is nothing like you've ever seen before. It is, but it's just their spin on it, which is what I like.
Yeah. No nonsense.
It's a no nonsense. So I've already picked up volumes. I've got volumes 2 and 3 on my pull list to read because I really enjoyed Volume 1. So I would say if you're coming off the back of that kind of BPRD Hellboy looking for a bit of a hit, I would Black Hammer. Check it out.
I've just, because Comixology were doing a Jeff Lemire sale, I've just bought Volume 3. Well, there's a bigger universe there. So there's one called Black Hammer Quantum Age, which is set like a couple hundred years in the future from there.
Oh, okay.
With heroes coming back. There's one called Sherlock
Yes.
Frankenstein and the Hordes of Evil or something like that, about some villains. There's a few that they've really expanded that universe, and I think it's well realized. It's well worth checking out.
But something I want to talk about with you, because I know you're watching it, and it's had mixed reviews. So I'm interested to talk to you about it. Is We're Assassins?
We're Assassins, yeah. So I've just finished episode 2. So just as a laugh, because I thought my wife is never going to go for this. And I showed her the trailer and she went, yeah, let's watch episode 1 now. And I went, I watched episode 1 last night. She goes, yeah, but I need to catch up. Let's watch it again. And I'm like, okay. And then we watched 2. She wanted to watch 2 episodes in a row. She loved it.
Wow. So for people who don't know, We're Assassins is a new Netflix show. The blurb is: an unassuming San Francisco chef becomes the latest in a line of assassins chosen to keep the mystical will powers out of the wrong hands. And I know. And it stars the guy from The Raid. I think I'm either on episode 6 or 7.
Right. Okay. How you finding it?
So let's get out of the way, right? Part of it, I think, is because the main guy, his name in the show is Kai, which is the guy from The Raid. I think when I watched The Raid, it was all subtitled. So clearly he's obviously, he's spoken English now, he now speaks English and stuff like that. And I think sometimes his acting is a little bit...
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? sometimes his act is a little bit off par, and I think sometimes some of that would be maybe if he was acting in his own language, it might be better.
I had exactly the same thought.
As opposed to having to sort of, speak in English. I don't know, do you know what I mean? But on saying that, to be honest, the martial arts and the story and the other characters, I'm all good.
Yeah.
I'm all good.
Absolutely.
There's plenty of other shows I've forgiven far, far worse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all over. I think the woman who plays his mentor, who's teaching him his supernatural skills, her acting ain't the best.
Yeah.
But I can live with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the choreography is astounding, man. I'm just sitting there going, ooh, and like my wife does not like violence on TV, and she watched that. She went, that's the kind of violence I can take, though. Because
people get some licks in.
Wow.
And people get some licks in that show.
Man, the amount of times I go, yeah, he ain't getting up from that ever.
There's a couple of times where like he hits someone like in the chest like 6 times. I'm like, that guy is not getting up.
No, I'm like, okay, you probably did him with the first one, you know?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? He's not getting up.
It's like, and it's not just like he hits him 6. It's like fist, elbow, knee, punch. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, it's not even.
I'm like, he's done, man. He's done.
It's what we'd say back in the day is like quality licks, because he's not just getting punches. It's like a whole. It's a whole kind of like. It's a flurry. Do you know what I mean? That's it. It's like a buffet of licks.
A buffet of licks.
What would you like, sir? Elbow, knee to the chest. Do you know what I mean? Backhand to the jaw. However, what I'll say, because you've seen how many episodes?
2.
Episode 5 has a fight. That's what I'm going to say. Episode 5. And you'll know the fight. Episode 5. And I just sat there. I was like, that's a fight. Yeah. That's how 2 people who have martial arts skills and have superpowers, that's how you fight.
Okay.
Right? That's how you fight. That's all I'll say. That's how you fight.
Right?
To that. Also, the story, I think, as it goes on, which, to be fair, that's how a story should roll. As the story goes on, you get more into it and you go, oh, wow, I never saw that coming. That's a really good thing. Nice. That makes you think about it. And I think the story goes deeper as you get into it with the characters. And for me, like, his level of acting, but it doesn't bother me anymore because I'm into the story. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And there's a really interesting mix of characters.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I don't like to, you know what I mean? It would be the one to play a card, but it's really nice watching a martial arts show where
everyone's like from where they should be.
Well, no, but it's just it's set in Chinatown.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's the inhabitants of Chinatown running the shit.
Mm.
And I quite like that. It's quite, you know what I mean? It's that whole.
And you know what? It's not an Asian show. It's a show for everyone, but it's about Asian people. So.
And you'll see it again.
I think that's the thing. The problem that people often make is if you got more than like 3 black characters in something, it's a bit of a black show, really. No, it's a show.
And I think this show does that really, really well. And you'll see as it goes on. You could easily fall into, it's just an Asian show. But as it goes on, what you realise is it's an international show. However, it's from the focus of having the majority of the cast being Asian.
Oh, I've just see who plays the Waterloo.
I figured it was her, but don't say it.
Okay.
Don't say it. But I think it's the choice. Yeah, don't go searching too much. But I think it's the choices of. The plot of it is basically you've got this one guy who's the real assassin.
This is the plot of The Protector, which is a Turkish show I'm watching.
Yeah. And you've got these other people who are basically lords who control the elements. And, his destiny is to destroy them to get the elements back, effectively. Mm. But what's interesting is the choices of who are these lords.
So I've only met one so far.
Yeah, you've only met one. Whereas when you meet the next one, that's when shit gets real.
Right. Okay.
That's all I'll say. When you meet the next one, you're like, shit's got real now. Shit's gone like Shit's gone Highlander. That's all I remember thinking was I watched it and I was like, it's gone Highlander, and I was like, okay, I'm down with this now. I really enjoyed this show. It's a fun show, and the martial arts is tight on it. And it's not loads of quick cuts and the rest of it because man can't hold the martial arts. They've got to take a little breather when a stunt double comes in. It's like people are just kicking ass. And the woman who runs it's one of his friends, one of Kai's friends, and she runs the restaurant.
Yeah, Jenny, her character name.
Have you seen her fight yet?
No, but I know but they've set it up well that she can fight.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have. She went to get because she went to get her brother out of the out of the crack den or whatever it is. Yeah. And they tried to take her out and shoot. I was like, oh damn.
I mean, the thing what I like about it is like the skills there, but she roughed them up, man. There was no playing about, man.
Yeah.
She did a couple of moves in there, and I was like, wow, that's. But then you see, the main triad guy, he was the Fire Lord.
Yeah.
And he's got like his second in command like a woman.
Yeah.
You
No, I haven't seen her fight yet, but you already know she's handy.
Right, mate. Yeah, you even seen handy. when she throws that, you're like, oh, damn. This is the show that Iron Fist should have been.
Yeah.
Calling it now. This is the show that Iron Fist should have been. End of. And it's almost like someone watched Iron Fist and went, no, I'm not having this. I'm not having martial arts go out like that, man. And they did this. Nah, it's a crap. And one of Kai's mates, he was in Iron Fist.
Was he? It was
yeah, the guy who runs the
auto shop.
The auto shop. Him.
Wasn't he into the Badlands?
I don't know. But now you said that, oh no. What, he was the sister of Madame Chow.
Yeah.
Not sister, brother. Sorry.
Yeah, because I don't know, because I've been looking at him going, I know this face from somewhere.
Yeah, I know, but I automatically was
tall.
like,
he's got. No, let me look at. No,
he's not him.
No, but I'm like, he just looks like him though.
He does.
He's got the same kind of bearing and everything.
Mm. But no, it's a. But weirdly, I actually think the main guy Kai and the teacher, her acting's a little bit wood, but the story, I love the story, and I think everyone else's acting's on point.
All I'm saying is that we are tired people at the moment. We've got 3 kids. It's a summer holiday. Yeah, if we watch something and then we go to bed because we are done by this time of night. And last night or the night before, Siobhan was just like, yeah, let's watch the second episode. And to be fair, no, it was the night before. To be fair, because last night we would have watched more, but we suddenly went, do you know what? We need to finish some stuff because like you said, you start so much stuff. And we're halfway through Star Trek Discovery. And so, we got to watch. Damn, that show is good.
Yeah, I like Star Trek Discovery.
Season 2 is killing it.
Yeah. That's a proper kind of like we sat down, what worked, what didn't work.
That is people learning.
Yeah.
And working on it. And I'm just, Captain Pike is awesome, man. he's challenging, he's channeling just the right amount of Kirk.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But making it his own, and he's just working. I was like, yeah.
I have to say, this show off the back of We're Assassins. I've been watching this show, right? And I've watched the last episode last week, right? And I watched a trailer for this, and I thought this looks awful. Even though other people have said this looks great, I watched the trailer and I thought this just looks everything bad about trying to take Indiana Jones and mix it with the Da Vinci Code. And give me some kind of some cut price, adventure show, and the show's called Blood and Treasure, right? Bucky.
I never heard of this.
No, Bucky hooked me up with it because I don't even know when we're gonna see it over here. So Bucky hooked me up with it because even though it looked like a cut price Da Vinci Code Indiana Jones, it's still got Indiana Jones in the title. Do you know what I'm saying? So I've got to at least look it up. So the blurb is a globe-trotting action-adventure drama about a brilliant antiques expert and a cunning art thief who team up to catch a ruthless terrorist who funds his attacks through stolen treasure. So we actually talked about this when we did the pilot season. I think you pitched it to me when we did the pilot season. I said I'm all over it.
Okay.
Right? I don't even know how to phrase it. Because I watched the first episode and I thought, this is everything that I don't like about when someone tries to Indiana Jones shows. You know, it's just cliched. It's everyone looks pretty, blah blah blah. You know, but once I got to put my hand on my heart and go, I rinsed every episode when it came out.
How many episodes was it?
13.
Are you serious?
I like literally when I knew it was out, I was straight on to Bucky, like hook me up. I was there watching it. And what I realized is there's a lot of dark stuff going on in the world, and there's a lot of dark TV shows at the moment. There's not a lot of light on TV. Everything's bleak. Everything's heavy, right? And what I realized this show was giving me was the sunshine.
Do you know what? I'm on, man.
And a bit of nonsense, and people just running around, globe-trotting adventures and stuff like that. And I found that I really enjoyed. I found that I really enjoyed it. I found
it again? Blood and Treasure.
Blood and Treasure.
Okay.
And it's one of those shows where what I would say is, you know, like no, I can't compare it to like White Collar because White Collar was money. But what I would say is, it's one of those shows where if you watch the first episode and you hate the first episode, I don't think it's going to change.
Do you know what? That's what I said to Siobhan. I said with what were we just talking about?
We're assassins.
I said, you know what? 3 minutes is all you need to know whether this is your show or not. Where is it on? Is it on Netflix?
What?
Blood and Treasure.
What part of Bucky did you not hear?
Sorry, I don't know. I was holding out hope. What is it on? Like, what do people have to get it on?
CBS?
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. I went. It's actually got a second season, which I'm really excited about. They got a second. And you know what? This week is the first week that I haven't had an episode to watch, and I would normally watch it today, and I was genuinely upset because I didn't have an episode to watch.
Right.
I was like, oh man. Because they travel the world, it's just adventures, and they got flaming torches going into caverns and shit. I was just like, you know what?
All right.
Remember there was a show called...
Give me more to watch, man.
Remember there was a show called Hooten and the Lady?
Yeah. You quite like that one.
I actually thought this was better than that. And Hooten and the Lady weren't that great. I just for that type of genre, I make a lot of allowances. That's what I'm saying. I will make a lot of allowances. So if someone watched Blood and Treasure, if you watched it and came back and said to me, that is rubbish, I couldn't get on with it, I'd be like, no, you're right, man. I understand that. I'm not even going to argue with you and go, no, give it a go. Give 5 episodes a go. But for me, there's not a lot of shows like that.
Okay.
And I feel like if you watch the show at the Librarians...
Bucky is sorting me out as we speak.
Okay. Just watch the first episode. Okay? Don't go into it like it's Magnum, where I'm telling you it's like the best thing ever, and you watch it and you go like, you've let me down. Just sort of, I'm trying to like just.
Yeah, all right.
Set your expectations. I'm setting your expectations.
No, that's a good management technique, man. Handle expectations. It's all good.
You got anything before you read that?
So this is what I was talking about at the beginning. I said that Steve is not enjoying this show.
Okay, is this Another Life?
It's Another Life. Have you watched any of it?
No, what? It's funny you say that. I put this on because the trailer came on, and like you said, on a rolling repeat on Netflix, the trailer came on, and Sue was like, "Oh, that looks pretty good. Let's give that a go." I'll put it on. We got, I want to say 10 minutes as a conservative estimate. It might have been less. And Sue just went, she didn't even look at me actually. She just went, turn it off. And I remember thinking, did she say that? And I looked, I went, sorry, love, she went, turn it off. I was like, oh, okay. She was like, I'm not watching that. And then got up and left the room. I was like, oh,
and you know what? I get it, but I've watched the whole thing.
Oh, well, okay. Wow.
I ain't got time.
No.
I started. I was in, and I'll be honest. They're trying to do a lot of things. Yeah. Did you watch Night Flyers when it came on?
No, I didn't. It looked very similar.
Mate, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same, but with less. So at the end of Night Flyers, it was all kind of like 2001 Space Odyssey going on a trippy tunnel thing, and I literally hated every character. So already this is better than that. Yeah. So you've got Katie Sackhoff of what's it called fame, Battlestar Galactica fame, as like the captain of this ship. So basically there's an artifact, an alien artifact has landed on Earth, and everyone's like, what is it? And her husband is the chief scientist trying to work it out. But they've found the origin of the signal, and they're sending a ship off to go and get it. And basically it's about, so it follows what the Earth team are doing, and it also follows what's happening on this ship. And things, I mean, shit just goes wrong. And the one thing I like about this show is no character is sacred.
Right.
Yeah. You literally come to each episode and you go, I'm not sure who's going to die in this one. and it might be no one, but it might be one of the main characters. And
yeah,
it will have
that's a big draw for you, though, isn't it?
It is. I love it when they're not. Do you know what I mean? So you got Katie, but it's quite a cast. You got Blue Hunt in it, who is she was on the originals. Did you watch that?
Yeah,
That vampire show? Yeah.
No, I watched the Vampire
That's a spin-off
Diaries.
of the Vampire Diaries,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
She was Blue Hunt. She was also in the New Mutants, which I didn't see. Who else you got? You got Samuel Anderson in it, yeah, who you all know from Doctor Who as Clara's boyfriend, Danny Pink.
Danny Pink, innit?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's the ship's AI.
Oh wow!
And he's awesome because he's starting to trouble because he's starting to exceed his original program and evolve. And there's a really nice twist with him at the end. And stuff. There's some real. So it's a military ship, but in the future, the military did away with uniforms, so everyone's wearing their own shit. You're like, I'm not buying that any of you have got any military training whatsoever, and they're so caught up in their own shit. It's just like you want to just dumb as shit. But I'm still enjoying it, and Selma Blair is in it as a media influencer.
Yeah, I got about as far as seeing her.
She's the most annoying character. She's so annoying. And but the whole thing is, you know, are the aliens benevolent? Are they not? I've enjoyed the journey, and I think the ending left it in a much more solid place than Night Flyers ever did. And I'm really interested to see where they take it from there. However, if you watch the show and go, the writing's terrible, I'll be like, yeah, I understand.
To be fair, I watched the trailer. Weirdly, I watched the trailer today because it popped up, and then I realized I'd never really watched the full trailer, and I saw some spidery creature things. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah. Okay.
You obviously weren't going to hook me up with that.
You know, I forgot about that. That was
you did, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
Right.
But they tried to do so many science fiction tropes that already exist, and part of me wanted to go, you just need to be a bit more original. So they did the aliens thing in one of the episodes.
Right.
And I mean, they weren't even pretending. That was out and out aliens, and it was. There was a bit that looked like it came straight. The bug bits, it looked like it came straight out of what was that? What was that film? It was hilarious where they had to kill bugs.
Oh, Starship
Troopers, stuff like that. But I did like some of the stuff that was happening on board the spaceship, and it reminded me of. I don't know if you ever saw the film Sunshine, because that started.
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah,
because that started out as a straight up sort of hard sci-fi type show, and then halfway through became a horror movie. You're like, what the hell just happened? And this does that as well.
Right.
So yeah, no, I personally I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward. I got no time, and I've done it all in a week. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to season 2. So that's me. Some episodes are uncomfortable watching because it's obviously somebody's wet dream going on there. Although saying that, it wasn't very explicit. It wasn't explicit at all, but it was just like, really? Is that happening now? So yeah, and yeah, it's better than Night Flyers. And I watched all of that. So
for someone who has like no time, you watch a lot of shit, man. That's what I'm getting.
I do watch. It's not even funny.
I just got visions of you just watching something for like 13 hours ago. Well, that was a bag of shit, wasn't it?
I don't even start me on the movies I'm watching.
What was the last movie you watched then?
I Am Mother.
It's on Netflix. Oh, I quickly because they're two biggies that we haven't talked about that I've actually now watched. So I watched Captain Marvel and Aquaman.
Okay.
So which one do you want me to talk about first, briefly, in 10 minutes?
Let's go Captain Marvel.
Okay, so
5 minutes each.
Okay, Captain Marvel. First off, people go and pick up Captain Marvel soundtrack because the Captain Marvel soundtrack is wicked. I listened to it the other day. It's wicked. However, whoever chose to, on the big climactic fight scene, to use a track from No Doubt needs to be taken outside and horsewhipped.
I know, what is that about?
That seems a bit hard. I mean, that seems a bit harsh. I admit that, but I am a soundtrack fan, and I just felt that particular sequence took me completely out of the movie. It was almost like someone watched Guardians of the Galaxy and they watched the last 4 movie and was like, yeah, let's mix it up, put some music. No, don't do that, man. That bit should have been some epic music playing.
But this is the problem that's happening a lot with movies at the moment. Is like, just when you want something really anthemic, they go, you know what? We need to get something from popular culture.
Yeah.
Just pump up the anthems, man.
The thing is, when you look at, I'm going off topic, when you look at the first Guardians movie, right? Guardians was using all the popular music and stuff, and it worked really well. And then when they got to that last bit, right, where he kind of grabs the, well, effectively it's one of the Infinity Stones, and then they all join hands at the bit at the end. And that piece of music is called Black Tears. That is one of the best pieces of music in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Black Tears, right? They don't go. Let's now drop MC Hammer. You can't touch this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's the only piece of music I thought. The only piece of sort of popular music they used in the MCU, which I thought dropped, was in Thor. And it went, ah!
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, that just good. Works, man.
Yeah, it was good. However, yeah, so I watched Captain Marvel way after all the hype had completely died. I watched it after Endgame, actually. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I thought, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was solid. Didn't blow me away, but I enjoyed it. It was some good stuff in there. I want to kind of watch it again because I think even after all the hype, I still went in there kind of a little bit, you know, what's it going to be like? But I think now that I've done that, I feel like I want to watch it again. I thought I
really enjoyed it. I love the cat.
Cat needs to get his own movie.
Yeah, I love the young Samuel L. Jackson.
Young Samuel L. Jackson. I kind of felt Coulson didn't do a lot. Young Coulson, especially compared to if you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know what I mean? But I would like to see him.
He was a rookie.
He was a rookie. Still screwy. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I still get annoyed every time I watch Marvel films and they don't even get a nod. That just burns me, man. It burns me.
Especially after like the first season when they're like blatantly linking it into the movies, man. How you just
But also as well, it's not even that. After it's gone on, it's like the equivalent of the people that just clean up messes and they're just working hard and they're getting no thanks for it. Do you know what I mean? That you know, because even in I think it was in not Civil War, Age of Ultron, there's a bit at the end where when Nick Fury turns up with the helicarrier, he goes, "Oh, we got this out of mothballs." No, you didn't. Coulson and all that lot from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they sorted all that out for you. That whole season was about them sorting a helicarrier, but it's no nod to it. It's that. Anyway, I could do a whole podcast on how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Because it's like, you know what? Because you got, and I'm not taking away from Black Widow, but May is up there with her.
May, yeah, don't even.
Do you know what I mean?
Why
have they never faced up? Why they never worked? Why is she just not in that? Do you know what I mean? She's the cavalry, man.
Don't even start me. And the last season was boom.
I'm so behind on that.
Well, I'll catch up, man. So it's a cracking show. How you can be watching shit like after, whether it's called Another Life or I don't know, Another Waiting, whatever the hell it's called, and not watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But
I like my sci-fi, man.
Well, no, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s gone proper sci-fi now. It's
all right. Proper. Well, I'm behind. I'll get there. But
anyway,
we're out of time. You need to tell me about Captain Marvel.
I just did.
No, Shazam was originally called Captain Marvel.
All right, no, that's what I was saying. I saw Captain Marvel and I saw.
Oh, Aquaman. Oh, yeah, it's in Shazam.
Yeah, I haven't seen Shazam.
Quickly then, give me your take on
Aquaman. You know what? That was pretty decent.
That was a lot of fun, man.
It was pretty decent.
That was a lot of fun.
I sat there watching it and going, and you know what? There was something invented with the actual action sequences. There was a lot of inventive stuff going on with the camera work and stuff. Look at me like I'm a reviewer. But some of the underwater stuff was a bit too CG for me. That's just me personally. People come at me, but there was a lot of stuff above water that I loved. There's a whole sequence where they're kind of running over the some rooftops fighting and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that is it's proper. Also as well, I mean, that's an Aquaman you'd follow.
Yeah.
And boy, it's not many men that can pull off gold like that.
Yeah, you know it.
But no, I did. I really enjoyed it. And I still feel that even with that and Shazam, who have heard a lot of good things about that, people are still kind of putting DC on the kind of it's on its way out. DC Cinematic Universe, whatever it's calling itself, I don't know. And I feel it's a shame. I feel they're starting to realise that just knocking out Batman, Superman films maybe wasn't the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can actually go slightly off beat. You don't need. Anyway, I don't need to get into it because
there's just so many. I just think now. Well, you've got. Well, to be fair, they've got another Wonder Woman coming. So is there any more coming? They're doing. I'm not even talking about that Joker film. That's a whole.
No, let's not. I don't. In my mind, it doesn't even exist.
No, me neither. But to be honest, I know he's your boy anyway. But to be honest, go and give me like a question movie or something like that. Go.
Well, that's the thing. You don't need. I mean, we've had 700 Batman movies, 700 Superman movies. As much as I like Batman, we can afford to look around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's a whole world of those things, and that's what Marvel clicked to a long time ago.
Yeah, because what I realise now as well is if you drop in something like a question movie or I can't think of something, so we'll stick with the question. You're just gonna. I mean, obviously you will get people like yourself and even like me who knows who the question is that can do the kind of like, well, will they do this? Will they do that? But a whole lot more people are going to be like, who's this guy? I don't know I don't know what it's about. So there's far less preconceptions than walking into the cinema with, rather than another Batman, which they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Or another Superman or whatever. But anywho,
yeah. So
that
was a long one.
It was a long one, man.
But all good. So you know the drill, people. If you check out the website geeksyndicate.co.uk, and once you've listened to the episode, well, if you've got to this point, I'm assuming you have, let us know what you think. Do you agree with our assessments? Do you absolutely not agree? Actually, but quite interested to see what people think about Another Life, because someone on the Geek Syndicate Facebook page said, I thought the characters were really well written, while other people said, the writing was awful. So totally split. So just let us know what's your take on these things at the geeks at geeksyndicate.co.uk, or send us a message on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Do that. And like I said, don't forget to check out the website. Until next time, Geek Syndicate, we out.